Hello, I'm your superhero critic, and I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome. With the success of the first two Iron Man films, they eventually went and did the Avengers film, which I'll be reviewing later. However, after Avengers, they created Iron Man 3. I personally did not enjoy Iron Man 3 as much as I enjoyed the other two. So, in honor of Robert Downey Jr. month, let's just get this over with and deal with the crap fest. Our film begins with a narration by Downey Jr. with scenes of exploding Iron Man suits and, like the other two films, awesome AC/DC music.
Let's track this from the beginning.
Yo, listen up, here's the story.
What the fuck? That is not AC/DC or anything resembling good music. Why did you go with Eiffel 65, Marvel? You had something going with AC/DC in every film, and then, nope, I'm just gonna throw in a one-hit wonder, thus creating a one-hit wonder movie. Music aside, our film actually begins in the past of 1999 at a New Year's party where Stark is being Stark and takes a chick back to his room in the elevator. We meet Killian, another upcoming mechanics engineer. Tony tells him to meet him on the roof later. The girl, being Maya Hansen, shows Tony an invention called Extremis that can potentially fix injuries. However, there's a glitch.
This is what I'm
Afterwards, we get another voiceover with Killian being stood up by Stark, and Stark leaving Maya while she's working. Jumping to the present, where we see Tony testing out his newest adaptation to his suits. The ability for his suit to automatically attach to him.
Probably a little fast. Slow it down. Slow it down just a little bit.
Alright, now mommy, daddy button.
We then get a terrorist video by the Mandarin declaring war on America and that he will strike when no one is expecting it, which of course sends the country into a panic. The government redesigns War Machine into the Iron Patriot as well before we jump to our heroes having a lunch. Stark wants more information on what's going on, but of course it's kept hush-hush. Tony starts to have a panic attack and has no clue as to why before we jump to Pepper, who is having a meeting with a now good-looking Killian, who shows it promotes his extremist technology. Happy alerts Tony about what's going on, but of course Pepper turns down Killian's offer because she feels that the technology could become weaponized. At home, our couple try to have a date night only for Pepper to learn Tony is not even in his freaking suit. Tony alludes to the plot of the Avengers film, saying that he is scared of losing Pepper because he is only a man in a world filled with gods and aliens. After having a nightmare, Stark's newest suit almost attacks Pepper through his mental connection. We jump to the streets where a junkie meets with a dealer. Happy, thinking something's going on, tries to intervene. The dealer, of course, steps in and hurls Happy across the area as the junkie turns around to ask for help.
Help me!
time I had any drugs that made me explode, I had diarrhea. The explosion leaves Happy in a lot of pain, but he's awake enough to watch the drug dealer walk away as if nothing happened. After Tony visits Happy in the hospital, the paparazzi gets in Tony's face and he shows the Mandarin he is not scared by doing the stupidest thing ever and giving our villain his address.
My name is Tony Stark, and I'm not afraid of you. I know you're a coward. So I've decided that you just died, pal. I'm gonna come get the body. There's no politics here, it's just good old-fashioned revenge. There's no Pentagon, it's just you and me. And on the off chance you're a man.
While doing research on all of the explosions that have been going on, Tony makes the plan to go to Tennessee to investigate more. Maya shows up to try to warn Tony, but while the three of them are arguing, a missile shoots through the window. Tony uses his armor to protect Pepper, of course, as the house is attacked from all sides. Once the girls are safe, Tony takes the suit back and does everything he can to fight off the helicopters. But it doesn't take long for him to get overpowered and plunges into the ocean along with half of his house. Tony finally gets the suit working, but goes unconscious. He eventually comes to, only to crash and find out he is now in Tennessee before Jarvis goes offline from low battery. Tony wanders the state and finds shelter at a boy's shed. The boy comes home and strikes a deal with Tony in order to fix his suit. Pepper finds a helmet in the wreckage that has a message from Tony. We then learn that Maya's boss may be in leagues with the Mandarin.
This boss of yours, does he have a name?
Yeah, Aldrich Killian.
Could they have made the fact that Killian was the villain any clearer? They might as well have just said, I'm the villain, in like giant flashing arrows or something like that. Witness firsthand the Mandarin's looming presence before jumping back to Tony, visiting one of the explosion sites, trying to learn more information. While the kid continues to badger Tony about the events from New York, he has another anxiety attack. At a bar, Tony meets the mother of one of the explodees and learns that there's more to everything going on. An extremist victim, posing as Homeland Security, shows up, attacks the bar's patrons, and sets her sights on our hero, who of course uses his brain to outsmart the woman in an explosive way.
Cheesy one-liner.
Sweetheart, that could be the name of my autobiography.
Tony is not in the clear, however, as another extremist destroys the water tower, entrapping Tony and taking Harley captive. Tony, of course, literally has another trick up his sleeve as he blasts the guy in the face. The Mandarin hacks the airwaves again, but this time he has a hostage and demands the president to call him or he'll die. But he shoots the hostage anyway. Tony contacts the Iron Patriot in order to get his government files on AIM with the help of an obsessed nerd who allows him to use the cable van. Through the files, Tony learns more of what Extremis actually does. Jumping back to Pepper, we witness that Maya is in cahoots with our villain. Y'all just done fucked up now. Y'all have done superhero rule number whatever. Fucking with the superheroes. Girl. It's not gonna end well for you. All because you are stupid! You're so stupid! Iron Patriot goes to investigate another lead, only to find an Iranian prison room that has a planted extremist carrier within it. Back to Tony having another attack when he realizes his suit is not being charged properly. Harley gives him the advice of building something since he's a mechanic. So we get a montage of Tony creating makeshift weaponry and taking out the guards with said weapons. Once inside, we learn the truth about the Mandarin.
My name's Trevor Slattery.
What are you? What are you, decoy? You're a double, right?
What, I mean, like an understudy? No, absolutely not. Don't hurt the face. I'm an actor.
Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Why did you fuck up the Mandarin so much? You take one of the most iconic Iron Man villains and turn him into a fake terrorist. It would make more sense if, you know, he was actually a terrorist, actually doing all the things he's done. But no, you make him a backyard villain and focus all things on Killian. Which would make more sense if Mandarin was pulling the strings and Killian was the person being manipulated. But no. You take one of the most iconic villains, completely ignore everything about him, and turn him into a stooge. I hate to say this, but fuck you, Marvel. After Killian's stooge knocks out Tony, he comes to and Maya tries to convince him to help them with their plan. Killian shows up and does the typical villain speech until Maya tries to off herself, and in return, Killian kills her anyway. Good job. While one hero is being tortured, Tony activates his suit, but it takes forever to actually get to him. The action scene is kind of funny to watch as Killian's goons are taken down by an armorless Iron Man. Once the suit finally gets to him, our heroes pay a visit to the Mandarin actor. Our heroes try to warn the vice president of the plan, but it shows that our vice president may be partnered with our villain anyway. On Air Force One, the fake Iron Patriot starts his plan, killing everyone in the boardroom. When Iron Man finally gets to the plane, after killing the bad guy, he is forced to play a huge game of Barrel of Monkeys with the people falling to their deaths. At the docks, Killian reveals more of his plan to the president as our heroes sneak onto the ship. All of Tony's suits show up to help take out all of the extremist holders, and while trying to save Pepper, our villain reappears to torture our hero, only to lose a hand.
Yeah, you take a minute.
Everyone give him a hand. While Tony handles Killian, Rudy saves the president from his fate. Tony tries to save Pepper, only for her to fall to her death. Our hero is now extremely pissed off, and the final fight between him and Killian begins. As they give each other everything they have, Tony does one final act of forcing the Mark 42 armor onto Killian, blowing him up.
Jarvis, do me a favor and blow Mark 42.
Of course, however, following the explosion, Killian is still alive and Tony is a sitting duck until Pepper reappears and knocks Killian with a pipe. The suits deem Pepper a threat and target her, and after an amazing feat of reflexes, Pepper takes out the suit as well as Killian. Our movie ends with Tony activating the clean slate protocol, blowing up all of his suits. The vice president and Mandarin actor are arrested. Tony undergoes surgery to fix the shrapnel in his chest. Happy wakes up in the hospital. Tony gives a bunch of goodies to Harley, and the movie closes with our hero tossing away his reactor before the narration declares Tony's suit is just a shell of the man he was. So there you have it, the worst of the trilogy of Iron Man films. Now, there's still one film left for Robert Downey Jr. month, and that is the very awesome film for Avengers. And that will be coming May 1st to celebrate Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. So, I hope you look forward to that review. I'm your superhero critic. I'll stay super as long as y'all stay awesome.